The stone fortress of Basgiath War College, carved directly into the treacherous peaks of Navarre, looms against the gray, foreboding sky. It is conscription day. The air smells of rain, fear, and the metallic tang of polished weaponry. Violet Sorrengail, 20 years old, stands in the polished, cold office of the commanding general. Her body is slight, her joints fragile, a condition that has plagued her since birth, leaving her prone to breaks and dislocation. She was trained for the quiet, dusty silence of the scribe quadrant, to live among books and history. But General Lilith Sorrengail, her mother and the cold-hearted commander of the kingdom's forces, denies this path. With a voice that brooks no argument, the general orders Violet to enter the Writer's Quadrant. It is a death sentence. The Writer's Quadrant is where the strong thrive and the weak are incinerated. Before the ordeal begins, Mira, Violet's older sister and a decorated writer, intervenes in the hallway. Her hands, rough from dragon scales, work quickly. She strips Violet of her impractical tunic, replacing it with tight, rubber-soled boots and a custom-made vest lined with dragon scales. This vest, Mira whispers, is the only thing that might stop a blade. Mira offers a final, desperate warning. Survive the parapet and trust no one. The parapet. It is the first cull, a narrow stone bridge suspended thousands of feet above a jagged ravine, slick with the morning rain. The wind up here is not a breeze, but a physical assault, howling through the canyon, threatening to peel the candidates from the stone. Violet stands at the base of the turret. Ahead of her, a boy named Dylan, who she briefly spoke with, steps onto the stone. He slips. The wind catches him. He falls, screaming into the abyss. There is no safety net. There is only the drop. Behind Violet looms a threat greater than gravity. Jack Barlow, a towering, cruel initiate with hate in his eyes, promises to kill her the moment they cross. But another figure commands attention. Xaden Riorson. He is tall, dark-haired, and marked by a scar that cuts through his eyebrow. He's a third year, a wing leader, and the son of the great betrayer, the rebel leader Violet's mother executed. Xaden's eyes are cold onyx. He looks at Violet not just with disdain, but with the weight of a blood feud. He tells her she will die. Violet steps onto the parapet. The stone is wet. Her boots struggle for grip. The wind screams, tearing at her clothes, pushing her toward the edge. Her heart hammers a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Every muscle trembles. She focuses on the stone, step by agonizing step, reciting facts from the archives to steady her mind. She reaches the center, the most dangerous point, where the wind swirls violently. She drops to her knees, crawling, dignity forgotten in the face of survival. She reaches the other side. She has survived the first hour. Life inside the Citadel is a brutal, relentless grind. The cadets are not just students, they are targets. Violet is assigned to the 4th Wing under the direct command of Xaden Riorson. It is a placement that feels like a trap. She finds a sliver of safety in her squad. Rhiannon Mathias, a girl she helped with a loose bootlace before the parapet, becomes her anchor, a fierce and loyal friend. But danger is everywhere. Cadets murder each other in their sleep to thin the herd before the dragons arrive. Violet sleeps in her corset, daggers strapped to her ribs. Dane Ados, her childhood best friend and a second-year squad leader, finds her. He's handsome, familiar, and terrified for her. He touches her face, his hands warm, pleading with her to leave, to flee to the scribes. He does not believe she can survive. His protectiveness, once comforting, begins to feel like a cage. He underestimates her, constantly trying to shield her from the reality she must face. Weeks bleed into a blur of physical torture. Sparring matches on the mats leave Violet bruised, bloodied, and with dislocated shoulders. She cannot overpower the hulking cadets like Jack Barlow. She must learn to be faster, smarter. She learns to use poison, coating her daggers to incapacitate opponents she cannot beat with strength. The season shifts, the air grows crisp, the gauntlet approaches. This is the final test before the dragons are allowed to choose their riders. It's a vertical obstacle course, a series of impossible climbs designed to test balance and upper body strength. For Violet, with her weak ligaments, the final ramp, a sheer, slick vertical wall, is physically impossible. She fails her first attempt. She fails her second. The leadership, including Xaden, watches. If she cannot climb the ramp, she will not be permitted to approach the dragons. She will be washed out, which means death. On the final day of the gauntlet, the wind whipping her hair, Violet realizes she cannot climb the ramp the way the others do. She breaks the rules of engagement, but not the rules of the test. She pulls out her daggers. With a scream of effort, she slams the metal into the wooden ramp, creating her own handholds. Metal bites into wood. She hauls herself up, defying the design of the course, defying the expectations of her commanders. She vaults over the top. She has earned her place on the threshing field. October 1st, threshing. The valley is a bowl of tension. The dragons descend, shaking the earth. They are massive, terrifying beasts of red, green, blue, and orange. They do not tolerate weakness. They incinerate cadets who show fear or hesitation. The air smells of sulfur and burning flesh. Violet, hidden in the tall grass, spots 3 cadets, led by the sadistic Jack Barlow, cornering a small golden dragon. The dragon is barely half the size of the others, a feather tail, seemingly weak and defenseless. Jack intends to kill it, to eliminate a weak link from the gene pool. Violet doesn't think. She steps out. She draws her blade. She stands between the 3 killers and the small golden dragon. She knows she cannot win, but she refuses to let them slaughter the creature. Then the sun is blocked out. A shadow falls over them, absolute and terrifying. Tairn drops from the sky, the black morning star tail. He is massive, the largest dragon on the field, a creature of legend. His scales are the color of midnight, his eyes burning with ancient intelligence. He roars, a sound that vibrates in the marrow of Violet's bones. Jack and his crony scatter in terror. Tairn lowers his massive head. He does not incinerate Violet, he speaks. His voice resonates directly in her mind, deep and sarcastic. He chooses her. But the shocks are not over. The small golden dragon, Andarna, approaches. She too claims Violet. It is unprecedented. A rider with 2 dragons. Violet is bonded to Tairn, the most powerful dragon in a century, and Andarna, a mysterious golden whelp. The bond changes everything. Violet is no longer just a cadet. She is a target of high value. She feels Tairn's emotions, his immense power thrumming in the back of her mind. Because she is bonded to Tairn, she is inextricably tied to Xaden Riorson. Xaden's dragon, Scale, is Tairn's mate. The dragons cannot be separated for long without suffering, which means Violet and Xaden cannot be separated. They are forced into a reluctant, hostile proximity. Xaden reveals the truth of his scars. He carries 107 scars on his back, one for every child of the rebellion he saved from execution by taking responsibility for them. He is not the villain the kingdom painted him to be. He is a protector. Winter descends on Basgiath. The snow is thick, the cold biting. Violet struggles to control the power Tairn channels into her. It is raw lightning. It burns her veins, threatening to consume her from the inside out. During a sparring match, emotions run high, and she loses control, blasting a hole through the wall. She is a weapon who does not know how to aim. The tension between Violet and Xaden shifts. The hatred melts into a simmering, undeniable attraction, fueled by their mental link through the dragons and the forced physical proximity. They spar, their bodies colliding, the line between fighting and desire blurring. But secrets fester. Violet discovers that Andarna has a unique gift. She can stop time. It is a secret that must be kept at all costs, for the kingdom would kill to possess such power. One night, assassins enter Violet's room, unsanctioned cadets sent to kill her in her sleep. Violet is outnumbered. She taps into Andarna's power. The world freezes. In the gray stillness of stop time, she maneuvers, striking back. Time resumes. She survives, killing her attackers. Xaden arrives, seeing the aftermath. He helps her cover up the magical nature of her survival, binding them further in a pact of silence. The relationship with Tairn crumbles. He constantly undermines her agency, treating her like glass. He enforces the rules rigidly, blind to the nuance necessary for survival. Violet realizes he loves the idea of her, the memory of the girl she was, not the writer she has become. Spring arrives, bringing the war games. This is the culmination of their year. The squads are to compete in a mock battle capture the flag scenario. Xaden takes command of their wing, but instead of flying to the designated game zone, Xaden leads them off course. They fly for hours, crossing the border of the kingdom, away from the safety of the magical wards that protect Navarre. They land at Athabine, a desert outpost thought to be abandoned. It is not a game. Xaden reveals a shattering truth. Navaz has been lying for centuries. The war they are fighting is not against the Griffin Flyers of Poromil for resources. It is against the Venin. The Venin are real. They are soulless sorcerers who drain the magic from the earth to fuel their power, leaving dead wastelands behind. They create Wyvern, two-legged dragons made of rot and dark magic, to fight for them. Violet stands on the ramparts of Athabine and looks out. The wards are failing. The Venin are encroaching. And the leadership of Navas, including her mother, knows. They have been sacrificing the outer villages to keep the core safe, hiding the truth to maintain control. Violet feels a betrayal like a knife in the gut. Her entire worldview, her trust in her mother, in the archives, in the history she studied, is shattered. She turns to Tairn, hoping for support, but realizes the horror. Tairn had touched her face before they left, his signet allowing him to read her recent memories. He saw the classified information Xaden gave her. Tairn reported them. He sent them here, thinking it was a test, or perhaps knowing it was a trap. He betrayed her trust to the command. The sun sets. The enemy arrives. They are not facing a mock enemy. A horde of Venin and their wyvern descend upon the town of Athabine. The civilians there are defenseless. Xaden gives a squad a choice. They can leave, return to safety, or they can stay and fight an impossible battle to save the innocent. Violet does not hesitate. She stays. The battle is a nightmare of fire and shadow. The wyvern are massive, reeking of decay, hard to kill. The Venin drain the life from everything they touch. Violet takes to the sky on Tairn. She is no longer the fragile girl on the parapet. She is the wielder of lightning. She calls down the storm. Bolts of pure, blinding energy arc from her hands, striking the wyvern out of the sky. The power is exhilarating and terrifying. But the cost is high. Liam, Xaden's foster brother and Violet's bodyguard, fights valiantly. He is kind, loyal, and brave. A wyvern crushes his dragon, Day. Liam falls. Violet lands, scrambling to him. She watches the light fade from his eyes as he dies in her arms, the first devastating loss of her new life. The grief is a physical weight, heavy and suffocating. Rage takes over. Violet mounts Tairn again. She taps into every ounce of power she possesses, ignoring the burn, ignoring the limits of her body. She becomes a conduit for the storm. She unleashes a massive, blinding strike that obliterates the remaining wyvern, turning the tide, saving the survivors. But she is spent. Her body gives out. The poison from a Venin's poison blade courses through her system. Darkness takes her. Days pass in a haze of fever and pain. Violet awakes in a bed she does not recognize. The air is warm, smelling of unfamiliar herbs. She is alive. Her wounds are bandaged. She is not at Basgiath. She is in Erythea, the capital of the rebellion, the city that was supposed to have been destroyed years ago. It stands, hidden and rebuilding. Xaden is there. He explains that this is the headquarters of the revolution. He has been smuggling weapons out of Basgiath to arm the rebellion against the Venin. Violet struggles to sit up, her mind's reeling from the betrayal, the battle, the loss of Liam. She feels a shift in the world. She is now an enemy of the state she swore to protect. The door to the chamber opens. A man walks in. He has the familiar eyes of her family. It is Brennan, her brother. The brother who died 5 years ago fighting the rebels. The brother whose death broke her mother and shaped Violet's life. He is alive. He is part of the revolution. Violet stares at him, the final piece of the lie falling into place. The history she knew is dead. The war she thought she understood is a fabrication. She looks at Xaden, at her brother, and realizes the true fight has just begun. The safety of the scribe quadrant is a distant memory. She is a writer, and she is at war.